Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It has been a really long wait for us. We've been waiting for pretty much 37 minutes for this match to start. But finally, we've come at least so far that we have gotten onto the correct map, which is the first one in this series between Essence and Baguette Loverz, which is going to be Hunger Beta 8. And currently we are still waiting for the Baguette Loverz to ready up, as Chico also desperately wants them to do. Zombie though just needs a little bit more time before they can ready up. So within the next few minutes, hopefully we should be getting ready for that. But what is this series going to be? It's still of course in the group stage of the Team Survivor Urban Zone League. And we're going to start with, as I said, Hunger Beta 8, followed up with, at least if it's going to be the map that is shown on the match report on the website, then it's going to be second to Hunger. No, what? Casa. Thank you, brain. You are not working correctly this evening. Well, apparently I'm apparently actually quite tired by just adminning that Urban Zone 2v2 tournament, but it seems like at some point, possibly, thank you, there seems to be some problem with the hook here of the ops thing, but the game finally starts and I probably got the colors wrong. I certainly did. There we go. There we go. So, we're going to have the Baguette Loverz in the red colors and Essence in the blue. Here for the first round, bring you down to a 2 vs 2, Chico and Exotic, up against Bludgeon and Blunt. That cannot be possibly. Brooks and Shanfara. Interesting. Funny names that they have it all with BL at first, but it's not going to make my life easier, certainly. Exotic retreating and forcing all of the players of Baguette Loverz to move out, such that Chico can get them from behind. And still also Chico still with 3 HP being more than enough of a nuisance. We still though have Brooks trying to figure out exactly where to go. Chico also being healed up right now, so with that they have so much HP they can really just tank all of the damage here, and they go straight in, and Brooks, Bludgeon, I can actually pronounce that name even easier than his real name. Nevertheless, he's just going to fall to one single shot. So the first round here going to Essence, but this time a trade here with KGT for, for Shanfara, followed up by Exotic also falling here, so a good opening here for the Baguette Loverz, as Essence is one man down, together with also having Exotic being dead, being one of their main players, especially here in the 2v2 tournament. He was one of the most important players. And who was that again? Brooks is going to take Chico down as the last guy. I am going to be the one that is doing all the camera work, and as you know, at least from my amazing work that was last Tuesday with the boobs against someone else, I'm going to miss all of the amazing things that happen, such as Doofy getting some amazing shots with the SO8, and Exotic here fallen after getting one down, so good trade. Still though, it is Brooks up against 3 players of Essence, is going to be hunted down, and the second round again, Essence in the lead as they take their second round. And Essence beginning to push further in, taking a little bit of a peek here at the silo, and where the rest of the Lovers are currently. Bloody and Blunt being the only ones still alive, being Zombie and Shanfara, and holding down really strong, making it from a 4-2 purely a 1 vs 2, but Exotic still takes this one home. Let's see if we can actually get the camera on someone who actually does something. K-Tech Gets bludgeoned wide when he was peeking the corner. Is going to be traded though. All of the Baguette Lovers are pushed back, but Rival with an amazing nade is going to take 2 of them down, and also Bleard is going to go very much down in HP, and the only one still alive is Shanfaro with DSO8 is going to take Exotic with that. Also, and good connections there with the MP5 is going to fall though, as Vedwast makes a lot of holes in his body. Exotic going far in, and also the Baguette Loverz washing straight onto the water tank and gets Rival down with that. Pushing further onto the Null's house, also now gets Vedwast, and everyone else of Essence falls as a flawless victory comes here for the Baguette Loverz of the Frenchman. Happy really that you appreciate the shoutcast, Kick 6. Thank you. Really means a lot. We have here the French going in for a little bit of a peek. Exotic is going to fall for that one, or fall due to that. And Essence have all just regrouped at the water tank, just holding down positions at that point. While, let's see where the Baguette Lovers are. They're going in for a peek, a little bit of information. K-Take already falls, as Bloody does retreat. Zombie. I'm not even sure if I want to try and remember all of those names. Though from just going actually through the L-shaped, all of the French just go in and get the rest of the kills. Interestingly enough, you would think that they would be funneled through. They were going to be funneled through the L-shaped, but since they were just going in, taking one angle at a time, and not rushing straight in, the fact that you were just 4 players sitting right at this side wasn't really in your favor at all, as it was just 2 versus 1 consecutively, and this time around Exotic again, the only one still alive here, as it goes in for a peek up against 3 players here of the French. Is going to take a lot of them far down, and also takes here what is MXC. Is going to fall though to Shanfara. Brooks, damn it. But with that, the French have brought it all the way back from a 4-2 to a 4-4. As the French again going in for a wash straight on to Picnic, while Essence again trying to see if they can regain grounds and not begin to be overwhelmed from behind. A further wash in. Exotic not going to be of any use on that one, as he's way too late to the party. Yet Essence takes this one round. Very well done. But I also really like that they just waited for Exotic to go all the way around for a good flank, for making a good crossfire. And Essence also cleaning up here at the bridge. And we're leaving only with that 2 French players still alive, as Essence are trying to hunt them down, as they do here at what is, I think, the crossing. Can't actually remember the call out on that one. Sorry. Well, we also 6-6 had a CTF possibly, but this is Essence versus the French. I mean, you cannot really take anything that is going to be more amazing than this. Even though that we also possibly could have gone for Kingdom of Shetland for versus the Noodles. But I'm thinking this is going to be better. Or, yeah, going to be a much more close and much higher level match. And a more exciting match. So, 4-7 though, Essence beginning to gain a lead here. On what is their own map of choice. Nice grenade here by what is Zombie. It really just ruins the flow that you cannot know the names. That nade though is not enough, as the rest of Essence still are alive and are still kicking. And with that, makes it more than easy enough for them to get another round here. Exotic though again here falling to a nice grenade, this time though from MXA. And also, what is Brooks has taken several players of Essence down, leaving this one to a 2 versus 4. And the French don't even need more than one player, as just a zombie takes everyone down that was still left. Baguette Loverz now spawning here at the water tank, trying here with Brooks, no, MXC, to regain or take control here of the hotel. Is given up, and instead they're going for the water tank and rushing further onto Picnic. As Essence are currently waiting, but only with 2 players, so they are going to be favored in the trades. As Rival and Weatherwas are going down for only a zombie. And all of the French is already healing up. It has already been brought back to a 3 versus 3. As Essence peeks in, and one is already fallen here. But nice flank here by Chico. And going in 1 versus 2, not getting the connections though. And with this, the French get another round. So the difference again being slowly made smaller, as there's only 2 rounds now. The French beginning to push onto through the bridge, not getting further. Also the water tank is lost, as Essence haven't really gone anywhere, but just take what is early given to them by their spawn. Going to go in though onto the hotel. Is Chico still alive? Out of ammo though, up against 2 players, is going to fall. K-Tech now also 2. Rival the last one here in this 1 versus 3. Making a lot of sound too. Players of the Baguette Loverz just holding down all the angles and healing up. And 2 versus 1, just taking all the damage and the crossfires for getting Rival down. 8 to 7. We might possibly just have gotten something that was getting a little bit Essence getting away with the points here, but it certainly already has turned around, and we are again having a close one. As long as we're not going to end up with what was the last game that we shoutcasted just an hour ago against between Ginger Engineers and Comeback, where it was very embarrassingly many flags going to Gingers and way too few here to Comeback to make it for an interesting thing to watch. Still though, zombie falling here for the French, meaning a good opening here for Essence. As you can see on the board, Zombie has been the most important player here when it comes to the kills of the Baguette Loverz. So with that, we have another round going here to Essence, as they just clean up the West. Let's see if we can actually find Zombie. I'm just scrolling through everyone. There we go, I found Zombie. Going to go in. Is falling back, as also Blunt does fall here to Exotic. K-Tech though is killed, so we have a trade. Essence again going in for the push, and now also Zombie fallen. Blyad 2, whoever that guy is. They fast. Nice here, the flank though by Brooks is not going to do much though, as there's just too many here of Essence to get anything done. Though he was surprising them for a lot of time, so he could have gotten 1 or 2 kills if he had the connection on the kills on the weapon hits. Essence still though holding far back, taking control of the hotel and pushing further in, as the Baguette Loverz try to just hold down on that. We also have Blunt holding down on the push by Essence through the middle. Weatherwas though going to take that one, as Rival also gets the nade in through the hotel to also back up his teammate. He is going to fall, but Rival takes the trade, also gets Zombie down, so it is now Rival up against Bludgeon, Brooks, and he is going to fall, so it is still going to go in favor here of the French, as the scoreboard still is with Essence in the lead, but still only 2 rounds the difference. Essence putting a lot of players just on holding down onto the hotel. The good nade though is going to disrupt that one very hard, and Rival and Weatherwas the only one still alive as they try regain ground here on the hotel. And the French are just beginning to get into positions to circle all around and get a good pinching maneuver in, and Zombie takes Rival down in together with MX. Mass is possibly playing, depends on if Mass is someone else. Shady. Essence on the retreat on this 2 versus 2. Exotic though from behind, getting one of the French players and also getting the other. So with that we still have Essence in the lead. Well, nicely done. Still though, Chico not really doing much on that one. Essence just taking all of the angles and just also going in for a little bit of a peek. As Zombie tries to take one down at the water tank. He's just going to be pushed back. Few more nades thrown. One good hitting onto one. KJT though still getting the kill. As whoever Blyant is, Nefast has to retreat. And now Exotic and KTech also getting 2 players down of the French. So 2 players up against the 3 of Essence. Exotic goes in, takes one down. And Essence cleans up the West as KTech takes the kill. Shady, I'm pressing tab all the time. I also have problems with these damn aliases. So, nevertheless, in the meantime though, we have 1 French player still up against the 2 of Essence. Finding one from behind as they're trying to heal up. Or actually this one is gotten all alone, but still there's no connections here for the French player. As he tries to go for the retreat. Oh, he actually killed him. I didn't even see that. Interesting. Still though, 1 versus 1 against Rival. I'm a little bit tired, I suppose. Rival in the storeroom. So they're going to meet very soon and Rival does fall. So again the French beginning to minimize the gap as there's still 6 minutes left. Essence beginning to push in, gets one of the players down of the French. As another one also falls, but simultaneously all of the Baguette Lovers have also gotten or sneaked through onto the other side of the map, beginning to group up. As Essence again beginning to just hold down the angles before they are sure that they want to push further in. I mean, they have the lead, they have the amount of they have the man advantage, so there's no reason for them to just throw everything away by washing straight in. Zombie though is going to take Chico down. Bludgeon, which was Brooks, does fall. Still though, the French just holding down on the long angles here in the storeroom, as Essence just beginning to slowly creep forward, with still 1 minute down here on the clock for this one round. One trade is not going to make it happen as Rival and Wedowas still are alive and Wedowas takes Zombie down. So a long time for another round here for Essence. One nade onto the bridge as the French are right now retreating from the hotel, giving up their control of it. Essence again pushing further in and also simultaneously trying to go in through L-shaped. And we have finally Brooks taking Wedowas down, but he is the last one to stand and does also fall here to Exotic. Well, Shady, if there's one thing I don't know, it's players. That's like my weakest point. It's just history of players and their identities. Which is really embarrassing, to be honest. But yes, thanks for telling me. This time around though, we have Zombie already falling here for the French. Meaning that Essence have a good opening, while they're also now falling. So still though, with only who is Nefast and Max, we have not a lot of the French players still alive. And only now also Nefast is going to take 2 of them down. Is not going to take the wide angle at the right time, and Chico does get the kill. And SO8 is already here in use, as I can hear from the French players. Interesting that they go for the less aggressive SO8 use. I think at least I heard some SO8 players. There we go. We have Shanfara right now on the SO8. Let's just stay on this guy then. Or maybe not. Katek though, holding down the angle, is also going to fall simultaneously with Wedoas, as the French players just go in from all sides at once. French again trying to push in. It is just even trades though, so Essence still are fine, as it is a 2 versus 2. And now they get 1. Swedoros also gets the second for the 16th round going for Essence. The French getting ready for a good push straight onto the water tank, while still also holding down onto the angle of the bridge. Are going to stop that setup though. Might possibly reconsider and just do it a little bit later. 1 nade here by Zombie could have killed a lot of people, but it went the wrong way nevertheless. Just by surging their opponents, KJT is the last one still to stand of Essence, as he just runs away over to Mechanics and is going to play on time. Is going to be hunted down though, and it being found here takes Zombie down as just before he falls. But still, with that, gaining a few more seconds, winded down on the clock, with 4 rounds still to go for the Baguette Loverz if they want to get this 1 round still back, as they are rushing straight in through the middle, hoping to get the Essence players caught off guard and also get them in a good angle. That one didn't pay off very well, as Zombie is the last one still here to stand for the French. And he also falls here to the hand of Wedoas. Or actually Exotic. Wedoas just only got Chico. Well, he got a kill. That is important. Team kill there, sadly, as they are caught in the crossfire. Still not even trades almost, as Katek also falls. Though right now a lot of the players of the French are falling, but it has been brought all the way back now to a 2 versus 2, as they're desperately in need of a medical attention. Rival though also has to go over to Chico. The French beginning to spread out as they desperately need this round to end and find the others. Essence though just going to stay together and take the favorable engagements. And interestingly, just holding there in the corner, Chico is going to get the kill, and that was 2 seconds before the timer hit, so we're going to be getting 1 last round, as Essence are just going to be rushing straight into AI's Mechanics, as they just want to go straight onto the second map in this series. As Zombie and whoever that bludgeon guy is, which was Brooks, is the last ones to stand and the last ones also to fall, with a 19-12. Still though, one of the better Team Survivor matches. So with that, we are going to go find the white scene. Apparently I had something wrong there. We're not going to Turnpike as you saw loading. Instead, it is going to be, at least if it's going to be as it is right now on the match report, it is going to be Casa. We might be surprised. Nevertheless, it is going to be Casa. I would love for it to be Casa, as that is one of the... I mean, it is one of the slower maps, and it is a good contrast to something like Tuhunga, which can be slow, but can also very much be one of the more fast-paced Team Survivor maps there is. So having something like Casa, which is more slow ones, always wonderful to see, especially since it just also has much more an emphasis on the good coordination and holding down the angles and good place. On the other hand, though, we can also end up in something really bad where just nothing happens for a minute until then something happens. Has happened before. I'm not going to say that that is not boring in one way or another, or at least not very exciting, but it certainly also has its own merits. Thanks, Shady. Good that you haven't completely lost hopes in me. But yeah, I mean, just to make sure that I have I'm clean with everyone. I'm obviously not going to be able to, or obviously is probably a strong word, but I'm not going to be able to be your expert on teams and players, as I played this game maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I haven't touched it pretty much when I stopped playing competitively, because I love playing this game competitively, and playing it on pubs were actually not really that fun. So in this story time here with Ikslorin, I suppose this is, I just started again shoutcasting this, as I thought the matches are really good, and I actually wanted again to begin watching this wonderful game. But obviously, when I was playing, I was really only talking with the Danish and the Norwegians and the Swedes, so I didn't really know much of the scene, except that I was really scared of the Canadians, which is, in hindsight, after having watched at least and shoutcasted 2 of the Nation Cups, maybe I should have put my fear not in the Canadians but in the French possibly instead. But nevertheless, so I had not much knowledge back from then. I mean, I was pretty much every day since then always on the forums, reading, lurking around, posting here and then. I've never gone away from that, but that doesn't really tell you much about the ability of the different players and who's just amazing. So when beginning to shoutcast, I obviously, if my memory at least helps me with that, I can obviously only know something back from Nation Cup 17 and the few matches that I've been shoutcasting, as I haven't had much more time than just the shoutcast to actually get into this. I mean, really what I would have to do is just to 1 month or something, just watch a lot of games, just talk and interview so many people as humanly possible, just get in talks with everyone who just is over at the Open Times, and just have them tell me everything and let me just absorb as much information as possible. But that is just not something that is feasible, especially when you have so many hand-ins at the university to do. Nevertheless, though, that is not going to stop us, though, from seeing the second map. It's going to be Casa, and it is still going to be Baguette in the red colors, as they're going to try and go for rushing through Old Alley Timbers onto the market, but Essence thought the same thing was a good idea, and they are going to get the early good lead on that. There's going to be one good kill here by the S8 by Shanfara, but still, Brooks is the last one still to stand, with 3 still of Essence taking the first round here of the second map. And Essence, starting here at the Old Alley, are going to just hold down the angles, as Wobble is going for the bridge. All of the players here of the French also just doing the same, as they're peeking in through the narrow side hallway. One good nade is going to take Exotic down. Nicely done, and now also whoever player it is, Nayfast, is going to try and follow it up, push further onto the Patio. Is going to be shot down as KJT goes in straight through the market. Is going to retreat possibly. is going to go in for another peek also onto the fountain. Doesn't matter, as Moku takes the last few players down of the French for a 2-0. I'll take you up on that, Shady, possibly. I'll take you up on that at some point. When I find time, I'll probably just like ask you for a list of everyone or something. That would be wonderful if you could help me with this. I actually want to get back to that player with the Magnum there. That was, I think, Bludgeon. One good nade though in over the top is going to take Chico down, and that is the opening that the French were waiting for. And with that, they're going straight onto the market, taking one other player of Essence down, but that one was also punished quite hard, as Essence are going to hold down the angles while the French are just funneled through. And Essence turns this one around still. Really well, just coordinated, or not coordinated, just a nice comeback on this one. Good trade too, as Exotic falls for who was Max. Still though, Zombie still alive for the French, being the most important player, in my opinion. And still also a 4 versus 3, so this could very much go to the French as they're setting up for the push onto the market. We have here Nefast going in, and also Essence not wanting to wait out at the market are beginning to push onto New Alley. Going to take one down with that, and also the last one of the French also falls for 4-0. While all of these rounds have been really close, Essence still gets the points, which is what matters here in the end. And now also all of the French players beginning to, or trying to go for push onto the fountain is not going to pay off very well, as Rival just gets a good kill in, and Zombie, the last one, tries to be the lurk, is going to be killed for a flawless round here. Essence have given up control here of the market, so K-Tech is going to move further back. While all of the French players still haven't taken or noticed that they can actually take the market, but still pushing straight on through to the fountain. While they begin also to commit more of their players onto holding off to the market, as it seems like Essence might possibly have begun committing more players over there. But still, the French going in through the narrow side hallway is going to take Exotic down, but not before he also takes who was Nefast. So it is a 3-3, as everything is going to be even trades all the way around. Zombie just leading the charge here for the Baguette Loverz. As they're going into the old alley, let's just double check where the Essence players are. They're a little bit more spread. Nicely enough, beginning to possibly go into some good positions at the new alley, possibly. Or going over to the outside hallway, as they just want to stay on the move and just actually want to waste as much time as possible. While the French are figuring desperately out exactly where they're going. Now finally Nefast has figured out where they should go. The rest of the French going in. KJT though takes Zombie down. And also now K-Tech coming in from behind, as Brooks is going to go into the corner while he is waiting for his demise in the last few seconds. So that actually made a lot of sense, because 2 more seconds and that this round would have been a draw, and that would be much more as 5-0 or 6-0. That's much easier, of course, to get 5 rounds, at least if they begin to get any rounds, that is. Again, the French committing a lot of players either onto an anti-wash or getting ready for a push straight onto the market. The players of Essence are beginning to push onto the Patio, so they might very possibly be smelling that the wash is coming. The French players, though, beginning to rotate over to the Patio area instead, taking Exotic down with that. Nicely done. Chico going in for a peek, trying to go for a trade, is going to be punished as everything stabilizes again. Though Essence have given up control of the narrow side hallway, and the French are beginning to push straight in, as now also Marco and Rival are falling. Rival still alive, but being hit a little bit. K-Tech and Rival, the last two still alive, up against all 5 players of the French. And they moved all the way back to the old alley, heating up a little bit and holding down onto the old 2 angles. Are going to take 2 of them down, taking 3 of them down, bringing this all the way back to a 2 versus 2. A 4th also falls. Nefast, the last one still alive, finally takes Rival, but K-Tech just playing the angles and takes it with a nice headshot. Final kill, bringing this from a 2 versus 5 into a 1 versus 1 and also getting the round for 7-0. Essence cannot be stopped on this one. Rival, being a little bit cocky, pushing straight out onto the bridge, is going to be punished for that very deed. One good nade though by Exotic is going to take 2 of the French players down. One good backstab is going to get him for the revenge. Nevertheless though, still the French are in the lead when it comes to the amount of players still alive, as Chico is the only one now alive here for Essence in this 1 versus 3. Let's find Chico, gets Nefast down. Also gets another French. Brings it back to 1-on-1 against Chanfara, and also takes him with a nice headshot. These are just the most amazing clutch plays that we could ever want to see. But it is also still a little bit, I mean, it is an 8-0, but still each and every one comes just down to these clutch plays, and just also comes down to just the Baguette Loverz just not being able to just pushing it over the line, as Essence just each and every time just are able to tuck the rope just barely over to their side. I think that is some kind of an analogy that works. I'm not sure. One player on one of the French has fallen though. That is Chanfara. All of Essence though have taken control of what was the spawning area of the French, as they now all are at the marketplace and beginning to move on to the fountain instead. Possibly finds one, gets Exotic, while the rest of Essence are just waiting here at the Patio. Just in good crossfires, we have K-Tech taking 1 down, bringing this to a 4 versus 3 from a 5 versus 4. Marco also coming in, joining the party. Though with that we have no one holding down from a push from the market, should that happen. And that might possibly be what is going to make Zombie get some good hits in, but his position is known immediately. They did know though that there was another player of the French, and with that they bring it back to a 2 versus 2. The final ones going into the old alley, as Zombie desperately wants to heal up his teammate. K-Tech trying to be pushing in, is going to fall here, but still it is going to be a draw as Rival goes in for the kill on Zombie, but still one is alive here. Question is, of course, if this is actually the best for here for the French, or if this is actually I actually forgot something. Or if this is actually or if this if an 8-0 or an possible 9-0 or possible 8-1, if the 8-0 is actually the best of all of those. Let me actually get back into the game so that we also have the sound. Zombie falling. So with that, we only have 2 of the French still alive. We get 1 of the Essence players down, Exotic. And with that, K-Tech though also falling here. So the only ones still alive are Chico and Rival. And Chico, as Rival now also falls. Going back under the bridge, trying to see if he can outsmart his opponents, faking a push over to the market, but with the laser sight, the position of the French players is known, and Chico does take one of them down, takes the second one too. For the 9th round here of Essence, they just don't stop. This is beginning to get at ridiculous levels, and there's nothing that the French players are doing wrong, except for not getting the better end of all of these engagements. And Essence now going in for a push onto the market is just only going to push the French players down. Rival also hiding nicely behind cover as Chico goes in for the heal. Also for K-Tech, let me just change over to someone who actually does something more interesting than just supporting his teammates. I mean, while that was certainly what I was doing back in the day, so I can always appreciate that. It is certainly not the glamorous part of the job. Exotic though, going in for an 8 through the nav side hallway, being really aggressive, going for good damage onto one player, and also does support here with a good crossfire onto the rest of the push of the French through the gate. And with that, every one of the French has fallen for absolutely no favorable trades. Well, Shady, if you're going, well then good night, of course. Always have to be certain that we wish everyone a good night. So if you're not staying around for the rest, be certain to sleep well. Rival though, this time falling for Essence, but this might possibly just be once again the same story repeating itself, as the French just get an early lead but cannot really just get it over the line. They're beginning to get ready for a push in, and they still haven't figured out exactly where the Essence players are. One good kill in, as Marco now also falls. Chico and Exotic are the last one still to stand here from Essence, and Exotic the last one still to stand. He also falls. The first round finally goes here to the Baguette Loverz at 7 minutes. Still to go. I mean, it is 10 rounds. If you wash and you really get all of them in favor of you, you could get this one home, but not if you keep on playing slowly. And if you keep on washing, you're neither going to get favorable trades and also going to get very favorable win ratios. So the Baguette Loverz is not going to opt for that and bringing this into a 2 versus 1 in favor here of Essence, as Max is the last one still to stand off the French. Gets a good hit in on Rival's vest, but it's still not enough for the kill, as that is really what matters in the end for how much you actually have to care about the amount of damage they can output. Yes, they might not be able to run that fast, but if they can still kill you, that is more than enough, as Rival takes him down for the 12th round here for Essence. And Zombie just has to make sure that he gets something else done. Zombie also finally getting the connections in, getting Chico down with that. Simultaneously, everyone of Essence also falls. KJT to Shanfara, and Moku, the last one still alive. With the G36, it's also going to fall here to Shanfara for the second round finally. 10 still to go. If they wanted to get this one drawn, they are probably not going to make that one happen. But they certainly are still delivering good rounds in my opinion. And Essence beginning to creep in as K-Tech goes here for the flank, for a little bit of a lurk. Goes in, gets no one down, but does disrupt the players a lot, and also gets the intel of the 3 players at the same place. Rival only takes to 1, and with that we are down again to a 3 versus 3 as everything stabilizes. And all of the Baguette Lovers still holding down onto the Peugeot area, and Essence taking control of the marketplace. Again, Essence, Exotic just peeking, but not going to commit further. As we also have, I think, Marco just taking also the flank from behind. And the Baguette Lovers beginning to slowly creep out and figure out exactly where they are. One has already fallen to this crossfire. The other goes in, Exotic also takes him down, and Marco with the G36 takes the one flanking player. Very well set up here by Essence, and the Baguette Lovers really couldn't do much on this impenetrable defense of the French, or of Essence. Rival going straight in, gets the kill here on whoever Bludgeon is, Brooks. Again, 2 falling here for the French, while K-Tech the only one still. But Exotic now also joins him on the bench until the next round in this 3 versus 3, and all of the Essence players are in the new alley as Chico takes 1. Does get traded though, as Marco now coming in from behind might possibly get another kill by surprise. Gets one of them a little bit down, and now we have a 1 versus 1. And we have Max getting the connections and getting the kill here on Marco for the 3rd round in this 13-3. I mean, I think this is like the best example of why you should not judge, I suppose you could call it judge a book by its cover. Because you shouldn't really judge the map and how good it was purely by the result here at the end. Because there's been so many rounds throughout this whole map that have been gone to Essence, which have just been completely ridiculous and have been so really good rounds. So even though it is a 13-3 currently, and might possibly be even much more in favor here of Essence, so many of these rounds have still been so very close and so exciting to watch. Essence though, again mowing everyone down at the Peugeot area, and Rival takes the last one. And we might possibly get even to the 20th round if they get really fast. Essence going for the wash straight through the alley tamers onto the marketplace, as no one of the French are going to greet them. But still, Exotic going straight onto the fountain further is going to take one of the French down. Zombie though trying to hold down here as they try to hold onto Peugeot and the gate, taken from the Essence players from behind. But still, Essence just in a complete circle around the map are going to take the rest of the French players. And with that we have 15-3 with 1 minute and still 10 seconds to go. Yeah, I certainly agree, Crazy. I cannot believe that the result of this map is so very favored for Essence, but really keep in mind that this is so many of these rounds have come down to 1 versus 1s, or just Essence pulling a win out of thin air. Really, it has happened. A 1 versus 3, and Chico still clutches it. And she also goes in here again for the trade. Marco also gets one here at the balcony. Is probably going to bleed to death. Not even that, but still, in the meantime, Exotic takes the last one still. But yes, just so many of these rounds have just come down to essence. Just getting a win out of absolutely something that they didn't deserve. They shouldn't have gotten. There's so many ones of these they shouldn't have gotten. And I can't see any sloppy play here from the French players. So really it has just come down to some ridiculous plays here of essence. Still again, K-Tech and Exotic are falling here for what is Shanfara and Rival now too. So this might possibly be the last round, and this round might possibly also go in favor of the Baguette Lovers. It certainly does. The final result is going to be a 16-4, as it is not going to be a draw. Interesting. 2 seconds. I think that is a little bit of a mistake on my part. There we go. There we go. I was just bug fixing something. But it's going to be a 2-0 in favor here of Essence. And my god, has this been a match worth waiting for. I'm really happy that I didn't just play Hand of Fate, even though that is a great game, or just play something just for the rest of the evening, but actually shoutcasting this match, because this was really amazing. Thank you so much for watching this one match. This will be uploaded very soon onto my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ikslorin. The mod should be up tomorrow or probably Tuesday, as I will not have much time tomorrow, to be honest. But Tuesday or Wednesday, the latest, it should be up. So thank you so very much for watching. Let's find one good song to end this one on. But because man, this was really, really good.